All right, I wanted to go through and show where I'm at with my air assist setup. I've got it working. It functions great as it should, which, if you're wondering, means that when I am cutting in Lightburn, you can turn on air assist, and that helps when you're cutting to get better, cleaner cuts. And so you want like a higher PSI from like your compressor to do that. And so you want the software to be able to tell the machine to turn that on. But then when you're engraving, you can go with no air, but it tends just to gunk up the bottom, and you don't get as clean a cut, and it clogs up the laser head and all of that. And so you can have a little bit of air running, and so that'll always be on. And then if it's turned on to be the higher, then you can have the higher air as well for when you're cutting. The older machines have a different setup, and so they changed them. I'm on the XRF 1Laser. I think it's one of the newer ones. I'm thinking it's the old one. It could just be different models. But they have green connectors down here. And there's a 6-pin connector that you would use to connect your high and low. This machine changed, and the control board is all different. And so the two connectors that we're interested in, to get to that right off the bat for those who are interested, is this one number right here, number 4, and then number 5 next to it. And you'll see on yours that 4 will be empty, 5 will be occupied with one that looks just like one of these other ones, the red and black, the hot and the ground. That runs to the compressor built into the machine back over that way. And so we want the brown one, which is going to be our higher air. That one runs to one of these solenoids back over here. That controls just a steady stream of air straight from the compressor, whatever you set it at. Mine's about 30 psi right now, and I have to play with that to figure out what's good. And then the purple wire here goes all the way through. It runs to the other side to this solenoid, which has this little adjuster. And so when I want less air, which is what I would want, I can use that and turn it down. Mine's turned all the way down. I actually ordered a different one of these to see if I can get better functionality out of it, because I feel like it's a little too high for what I want. But functionality-wise, these work the same as the purchased one. If you have to buy all the parts and you have to go on Amazon and do that, it's honestly not that much different. But if you have a bunch of it, which I would, or I did, and it didn't cost me that much to get what is the same functionality, honestly, probably some of the same parts. There's a relay here that controls when it gets to 24-volt power. It controls which one of these to turn on or close, open or close. And then it's pretty easy to set up, actually. You'll see all these red ones are just the hot wires or the lines. And so you can see they run here to each other and into the hot on both of those solenoids. And then they run up, and you just put it back on this black box over here. You'll see that a 1 is where you're supposed to put that into, and that provides that hot power. That red wire runs down over here and runs back into this Wago, which is just a connector. You can use wire nuts as well to do the same thing. The neutral, or the ground, I should say, not the neutral, but the ground is all of these black ones. Same thing, one for each of these, one for the relay board, and that just runs over on this one into the A2. And so you want to plug that in right there. And then from there, you run the high, or however you have it set up. But in my case, the high goes to this side, which goes to the brown, which then goes into number 5 on the right side. It needs to be on the right. And then the purple is the low air, and that's the second one there. And that runs over here in the slot number 4, also, if I can get that there, also on the right-hand side. I bought these little connectors from Amazon, about $10 for 200 of them, which is more than will ever need. But as I said, that probably put me over budget where I wanted to be for this. But I'm doing it for the video. Otherwise, I just had them pinned in there, and I think that was fine. But doing it so it looks right and looks tidy and looks done. And then the purchase set you can get, which has the 3D connectors and all of that, or 3D printed. I don't know how it's done, but looks real nice. And have them sitting up here, but I just have mine resting on there with something underneath it. And then my unit all kind of fits back in there, and it seems to work pretty good. Have just the side of it off. To do this, you do have to take the back panel off to get to the 2 screws that are right there to take this one off. but I didn't put them back on before. I'll have to do that now when I'm hopefully done taking this thing apart. But so there it is for this control panel. If you have the older one without those green connectors, you can pull them out. For some reason, these two also engage it. I don't know exactly what they're for. They run up into there, but they are also work the same way, and that's originally what I had done. But Secure from 1Laser gave me the schematic that says to use these two, and so that's the two you want to go from. And so you want to clean it up, keep things from touching each other. Anything from any wires possibly causing shorts could be very damaging, and so you don't want to do anything like that. But those things to here, into there, kind of show it. And then I have this one, this air runs into the machine's air, which goes right here, which goes then right to the laser module itself there underneath and into the machine. And then again from the back, this one, I don't normally use this black one, I just showed it so that you could see the continuous air runs to the back of the machine. The blue one does fine. And then from the back of the machine, it goes there all the way over to where my compressor is. And so when I engage air assist and light burn, it engages this solenoid, which sends air into the thing. And when I turn off air assist, then if the laser is firing at all, then this one is open, and it just allows that little bit of air to flow through. I hope this was helpful. It's been really cool to use today, doing the cutting and engraving that I've been doing. I'm a hobbyist. I would love to do more, but I'm not making money full time, so I can play around with things like this. I do want it to be right so that it works when I need it to, but feel free to ask any questions if you have them. There you are.